The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome. I'm Nikki Glaser. I am in Los Angeles, California, in studio at the iHeart Studio podcast studio. You look like you were about to say something, Brian.
No, I never say anything.
Okay, Brian Frangi's here, and
Yes.
he's going to remain quiet.
Yeah.
Also, returning to the show, you've been at the same exact studio last time. Friend of the show, friend of literally every podcast I've ever done, and friend in life, Carlisle Forrester, everyone.
What's up, y'all?
Carlisle.
Happy to be here.
So happy to have you here. How are you today?
I'm good.
I usually see you on Girls Chat, and we're both having like existential crises on there.
I know. I was just reading through
You and
before the
I
show started.
really bring it on there. We're the ones where it will be like evidence in a trial will be our Girls Chat.
So about you,
messages.
Nikki and I are the only ones that typically will delete some messages
yeah.
sometimes, if you know what I
where
mean.
we go like that was just too much. I was going through something, but that's a good thing about our Girls Chat.
We
is-
want to work in entertainment. Do we need a recording of the breakdown? Let's
no,
not.
that's not my problem. Is that like it'll come back to haunt me? It's like. My problem is that no one needs to hear this shit, and it's like getting old. It's like this is just the same. It's the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Every couple weeks, I have the same spiel, and I can't imagine. Like I almost wish that my phones could record people's reactions as they're reading it. Like there was
Oh,
some
yeah,
kind
like
of
a
thing you
video.
could put on a text message that will capture the just
Do you
like.
think that would cure you?
Again, no, that would make it worse. Just Kirsten going like, Corey, she's doing it again. Like them all commenting to their husbands, like, oh, can I read this to you? Nikki's spiraling.
The babies inside of their wombs are rolling their eyes and rolling.
That's so funny
We
because
have four
everyone.
pregnant girls on this chat,
Man.
and we're just dumping.
Wait, four?
Yeah, three.
And-
Sorry,
and
I'm
going
pregnant
down.
in
with
life.
depression. Yeah, what?
And going down.
What do you mean?
You're gonna have less and less pregnant girls in that chat.
Oh
as
yeah,
time
that's
goes
true,
on.
and in a good way.
In a good way.
Like
yes.
they're giving birth. Noah is like in labor right now.
She's almost
probably.
not pregnant
Yeah,
anymore.
it's Noah's birthday today, and it would be awesome if it was
Wow.
actually her
Happy
birthday.
Wow.
That'd be cool. And we're recording
Happy
this
birthday,
on the,
Noah.
What's the date? The 22nd. So Noah's birthday is the 22nd. Wish her a belated happy birthday. She's due on the 29th.
Uh-huh.
So
Coming
it could
up.
be any time right now. So yeah, I feel bad like
Ooh, I
sometimes
hope
on
it's the
Girls
first.
Chat. Like, why?
I just love first birthdays. I'm a first.
Me too.
You're a first. My
It's the
brother's a
best.
first. My dog, I always say, is a first, even though we don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Just
Yeah.
made it
You'll
up.
never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's yours first?
March.
March for some reason first. I was just saying my birthday is like the best because
Yeah.
of that first.
First is the best.
Yeah, it feels really good. What are you, Carla?
I'm November 21st.
Okay. So
That's
20 away from the
1,
best.
2, 1.
Yeah.
I kind of like that number.
Oh yeah,
situation.
1, 1, 2,
Yeah, yeah.
1.
I know someone. You know someone. Tim Convey gave birth to his son last year on February 20. Wait. Oh no, 2 years ago, February 22nd, 2022.
Oh,
How cool is that?
so cool.
That kid's set for life.
Yeah.
Angel numbers.
That's angel numbers.
Anytime there's like all numbers in a row, like if you look at the clock and it's like 3:33, 4:44.
Okay.
That
That's for
means your
times
angels
only.
are with you.
But then
Right.
666 is the devil.
$9.99.
Well, yeah, you
So
don't.
I
Remember
guess
that
you don't
time.
want 666.
Oh yeah, that would be 706.
Do you make a wish at 11? What does that mean?
Like, well, if it's 666, if the clock were 6 o'clock and 66 minutes, it would be
Oh, yeah,
706.
yeah.
Do I ever make a
Do
wish
you
at
make
11?
a wish at 11:11?
I do. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 11:11. Make a wish.
That's Paris.
I still do it.
Yeah, I do too. But and
Paris used to do
I
it
love it
every
because
day.
it's like you could be in the last 3 seconds of 11:11,
Uh-huh.
and if it
Still
clicks
counts.
over, no, it doesn't. Like for me, I do a device where it's like if it moves over, then the wish
Doesn't come true.
Not only does it not come true, it definitely won't come true.
Yeah.
So I have to like make my wish fast.
The door
I don't have
closes.
time to like I just saw a video of Kate Hudson making a birthday wish. They're like posted online. She looks adorable. She looks ageless. She's giving Goldie Hawn, but like ageless Goldie Hawn. She's 45. She blows out her candles, and before she blows them out, she makes a wish, and it takes way too long. Way too like everyone's just sitting around. It was probably like 45 seconds of her going.
Oh my
You
God.
get
was just
1
like-
second per year of life. That's the rule. You said she was 45, so that's
Oh,
checks
that's
45.
out.
good. Yeah, that's a good. Way. I didn't know that. That's so true.
1-year-olds, one. They go.
Yeah, and someone was
Slow it out.
spanking her at the same time 45 times. Yeah, so my mental health was bad this morning and was just like I just piled on pretty hard, and then I slept obviously, and then it feels better.
Yeah.
That's sometimes what it takes.
Or the Larry
world
David
is-
method, which is take a shower.
That really does help.
Yeah. If
There's
you're feeling
a phrase,
shitty, take
the
a shower.
world is a dark place whenever you're underslept. It
Oh
is.
yeah, no,
It's off. You're underslept like crazy, aren't
Yeah,
you?
all
Because
the
you
time.
work all the time.
I work early as a waitress for my day job, and then I'm also a comic, so I'm up late, and people are like, "How do you do it?" I'm like, "I don't sleep.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
do it.
Underslept and slept on.
Yeah,
I have
it's-
bags under my eyes."
No,
but
you
it's
really
okay.
don't. You have like that perfect little like it's not a bag. It's like a fold, but it's like
The
the
French
cute
thing
kind.
that
Yeah, the
Anya
French
always says?
thing.
What's it
Yes.
called?
I don't know, but the baguette under your eyes.
Yeah.
It's a baguette.
Little
It's
baby
French.
baguette.
That was really good.
Oh, thanks. What did you guys do this weekend? You were in Indianapolis.
I went back to Indianapolis, returned to Benedict Polizzi's homeland. How do we say his last name? I said it wrong.
Polizzi. Polizzi.
Benedict Polizzi's homeland.
I think he's saying it wrong.
He's saying it wrong.
Yeah,
he
that's-
doesn't
I
even
really,
know.
when he said it's Polizzi, I just go, okay.
Yeah, if he went back to Italy, they'd smack him around for
They
saying
should,
it
and he
wrong.
would come from that. He'd be very turned on by that. He's raised by, I think, a strict mom. Not a
Yeah.
strict mom, but he likes
like
punishment.
an Aunt Lydia type.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but
Yeah.
continue.
So I asked about Benedict when I was there. I said, so what do you guys think of Benedict? And across the board, he's the best. Sweetest guy, nicest guy. You expect him to be a piece of shit because he's so hot, and then he
No,
proves you
because
wrong
he's
again
not
and again.
naturally hot.
Yeah.
He's achieved this.
Yeah.
So he's a good person ultimately, but he does not come across as someone who thinks he's hot at all.
No.
But yeah, if you saw just his profile pictures, or I'm sure he has a good Bumble or whatever that's
Yeah.
charming, but like, yeah, he does appear.
he has every right to be mean, being that hot.
I love when people are just nice. I just got because I love it in myself that when I hear stories about myself from the past and I was nice to people, like a girl just wrote to me and was like, "Hey, I just want to reach out to you. I am a comic in New York City and I bark for shows, which
Yeah.
if you don't know, it's like when people stand on the corner and hand out tickets to go
Comedy
see comedy
shows.
shows. Comedy show. You like comedy? You want free comedy ticket?
Umbrella.
Yeah. Comedy taping tonight. Dave Chappelle might be there. He won't.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Dane Cook. These are comedians that I know, and they will not be at the
Yep.
show tonight.
Yep. And so she said that I was with a bunch of other guys who also barked for years in New York. And we were talking about, and this is all just like, "Hi, Nikki. I just wanted to write you and let you know that I used to bark in New York for tickets for shows. And I was recently at hanging out with some other guys who did the same thing. And we were talking about comedians who were really mean to us
Yeah.
when we
You're
walked
like,
by.
This is what we
when
want.
we accidentally barked them and they were like, "I'm a comedian." And I'm just like holding my breath like, who know? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not that, I feel like I'm self-aware. But then she was like, and one time I accidentally barked you and said like, do you want to come to the show? I should look it up because I want to get it right. But which by the way, I've heard stories about like comedians going into shows that they're on, like your face is on the poster.
Oh yeah.
And then the person's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you have a ticket for the show?"
Yeah.
Oh God.
And they fucking
And they freak out.
freak out. But I don't expect anyone to know who I
I
am.
don't either.
Literally
You
ever.
just go, "Yeah, I'm on the show," and they go, "Okay, sorry." Like it's not that big
Usually.
of a deal, but
One time I was like really traumatized trying to get into the Improv because the door guy was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "I'm on the show at the lab," and he's like, "You can't just walk in here." And I was like, "I didn't. I'm talking to you right now." And then he's like, "You can't just walk." And I was like, and then I tried to make a joke to lighten the situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't know. I'm just pretending like I'm a guy, like I'm a big guy or whatever." And he's like, "Well, you aren't anybody, so you can't walk in here." And I was like, "Well,
Yikes.
I'm not trying." And then he tried to play it off like he was joking around, and
Yeah,
he
'cause he
he
was
started
into that.
laughing like, "You're in here," And I was just like, "This is so awkward and uncomfortable, and I never want to come back here again."
I got into an almost altercation similar to that this weekend on the road. We were flying out of the Buffalo airport. Shout out to Niagara Falls and Buffalo area for coming to the show at the Seneca Casino on
yeah.
Saturday night. It was fucking dope. So was Waukegan, amazing show. And then last night at the Paramount in Huntington, New York, amazing shows this weekend. But leaving Buffalo at the airport, so like you're about to walk through the metal detector, and there was like there's TSA machines on both sides, so like people are just kind of filing into one line. And me and this guy came in at the same time, and I didn't see him at first, and so I just kind of accidentally butted in front of him. And so I just like went through quickly, like kind of danced, like, "Oh, sorry, like I didn't see you," like kind of went through the machine like that.
Yeah.
And the guy, the TSA agent on the other side of the machine goes, I see what you're doing there. Don't try to trick the machine. And I go, what? So if you think I'm trying to trick the machine, you should have me arrested.
Yeah.
You should literally go back in the bowels of this airport and anally probe me to
Yes.
if you think that I was just doing a little dance to get. He goes, that tricks the system. And I go, do you think I know that?
Yeah.
And I got such an attitude with him, and I go, yeah, I was just. He goes, you're trying to trick the system. I go, no, I'm not. I was trying to be friendly to the guy I butted in front of me, and he was like, well, that messes with the machine, and you can you're trying to bypass the security. And I go, no, I wasn't. I literally got that big. I go, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you can't do it that way. And he goes, go back through. And I go, I will. And I go, there were fans. I could tell that people recognized me in line. I don't know why. This has never happens to me, but there was a couple.
There's TMZ there.
And I saw them see me get an attitude with it, and I didn't even give a fuck. I was just like, I hate this guy so much. I really wanted him to have me pulled like, this woman's a problem. I was
so what
having
they saw
that
you were in the
Tom
right.
Segura moment of like, I'm so sick of being talked to like I'm doing something wrong when I was literally trying to do something right by being like, I am friendly coming through. So if you want to bypass the security machines, go through teeter-tottering
Like
on
a
both.
Pinocchio dance.
Yeah, just like,
Apparently
sorry, I
it
butt
throws
you.
it
Is
off.
that what Al Qaeda needs to do?
That's all they gotta do.
Stop
Just
doing the
dance
monkey
a
bars.
jig.
Well, no, that's why they run through the tires in that obstacle course. That's the same motion I did was.
My God.
And but if he does think I'm trying to do that, then you should pull me aside. So you really didn't think I was doing it because so you're just a liar. This guy was such an asshole.
It's like that Louis C.K. joke. I think it's Louis C.K. who said he had like a bottle of something. Oh yeah, he likes to do clay. He's talking about how he likes to do clay, and then he tried to bring the clay on the plane.
Oh yeah, clay looks like bombs.
And then they were like, you can't bring this on the plane. And then he was like, okay. And then they threw out the clay, and then they let him on the plane. And he's like, look, it's either a bomb or it's not. Like, if I tried to bring a bomb onto the plane, you should just throw out the clay and then let me go on the plane.
Yes, that's so because you don't think I have a backup?
Yeah. It's
if that was my bomb?
Or at least I'm a guy who's trying to bring a bomb on the plane.
Or you just threw a bomb in a trash can. Don't you think it could possibly detonate inside there? That is so funny and so nuts.
Yeah.
So anyway, this girl wrote to me. I found it. She said, hey, I was talking to a comedian barking for stage time in the Village, and he was telling me about comedians who were mean when they barked at them by mistake. And then there was 2 line breaks.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
I was just
dun,
like,
dun, dun.
And it's hey, exclamation mark. So that does connote I'm nice.
Uh-huh.
It reminded me, years ago I was barking on McDougal and I barked you by mistake. You were literally the banner of my Netflix at the time. I was so embarrassed, but you said something along the lines of, don't worry about it, you're doing great. And it meant so much to me. Really kept me going through that stage of comedy when it feels like people don't even see you. So thank you very much. Hope you are well.
Aww.
Dude, I know I share these things sometimes, but sometimes I question if I'm a good person, and then something like that comes back and you're like, okay, good, I was nice.
Yeah.
Even though I know that I would be. Every time someone would bark me, and they go, oh, sorry, they'd recognize me. I'd go, why would you ever? Of course, you're just mindlessly out here saying it to everyone. It's not like you're looking for comedians to not like
to insult.
Yeah, but I've heard some horror stories of comedians being so mean to people because they didn't recognize them.
Oh yeah.
I could be as famous as Taylor Swift, and I would still be like she does. Hey, I'm Taylor. She introduces herself as Taylor. It's like
a human.
Like a human.
Yeah.
You have to.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, I'll just briefly say that the Tortured Poets Department is out. It has been out since I guess Friday night, 12 a.m. Eastern, and I have so much to say about it. I will be recording a solo episode, or possibly with someone else that's a Swiftie in Canada, Noor Hadidi. I'm gonna record it tonight, just audio. You don't have to be involved. No one can be involved. It's just I was gonna talk about it today and do some points, but I'm like, they both don't know what I'm talking about. I need to get really in depth. It's just gonna be a very Swiftie episode. It's just gonna be in depth discussion of Tortured Poets Department. If you're looking for any criticism of it, you're not gonna find it.
No.
Not even a single word, because I have nothing bad to say. Because why would I? What?
You don't want to be another soundbite in a Taylor Swift.
Well, that
movie.
also, but I also like. There's no reason for negativity. If you think there are too many songs on this album, why are you complaining? There's too. Just don't listen to the song.
Is it a double album?
Yeah.
Oh.
This
And how many songs?
Man,
and I
how
say that with
do
so
that?
much love. Saying bitch like she's my friend. She 31 songs.
Wow.
30. She Baskin Robin this shit. 30. She released 16 first at midnight, and then at 2 a.m. because she kept doing twos. She kept doing peace signs throughout the tour, at the fucking Grammys, always giving these peace signs, and everyone was like, what is this peace sign? And everyone kept saying, no, she's going to release the Reputation with Tortured Poets. And I was like, this is a double album, everyone. Like, she would not be doing these. Post Malone's doing the 2. He did it at the Super Bowl when he did, like, she had everyone doing this. And so it was a double album because she did it for Midnights too. She is locked in to giving us
clues,
double albums the rest of her life. 31 songs. Taylor Swift fans went from having, like, we have so many things in our head already, and 31 more songs, and they are dense lyrically. So it's like, I heard an ABC News report this morning on my Instagram that was David Muir, who I love, and he's like reporting on it like he's reporting on the Gaza Strip. Yeah. Yeah, like your shirt. And he's just like, if it was the morning after the release, and he's like, if Swifties are tired at work, if you are working with a fellow Swiftie and they're tired at work, please forgive them. And I felt so seen. Like, it really is daunting, but in the best way. I am having the best week because of it. That's all I'm going to say. I will get into it in depth, but it is like soothing to my soul. That was this morning when I was on the girls' chat. I said, I can't even listen to Taylor Swift right now. I'm so sad. I don't even want her to be associated with this feeling I'm feeling.
It's like someone gave you a big giant cake and said you have to finish the whole cake. And so you're going to like each piece of the cake, but it's going to take you some time.
Totally. It's so...
I don't have anything that I love that much.
I know.
I'm jealous you have
so many.
this.
I was listening to Chris's radio show today, and they were talking about how, like, they've never been excited about the release of something ever in this way.
I have.
What is it?
It was when the Avalanches came out with their second album after their first album, which was it was 2001 was their first album. Then it took them 16 years to come out with their second album.
Oh my God.
And the second album was... It didn't match the first album, but it didn't disappoint. And that's really, after 16 years.
That's incredible. I've never even heard of them.
I've never heard of them either.
The Avalanches?
What about Husky Night?
Husky Rescue.
Yeah, Husky Rescue is
I mean, they don't
the
make
CD
new
that was
music.
stuck in Carlisle's car. She had a car that the CD would not come out, so you only could listen to this album by this band called Husky Rescue.
Country Falls.
Husky
It's a great
Rescue.
album.
It was really good. It was soothing. And Sarah
So
McLachlan was
good.
also in that. You had like a turntable
It
in
was
there.
a dischange situation, so you had a choice. There was like some
like
chords
four
and
albums.
she's-
Four Husky albums in there.
Sarah McLachlan was one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if they came out with the new music, I'd be very excited.
Yeah.
The only person that to me is like my Taylor Swift is
Mariah.
but Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
But there are like whole Mariah Carey songs I've never even heard.
Right.
So I'm not near as much as a fan.
Well,
as you.
there are Taylor Swift songs I've never heard that are
Really?
like, not never. I've heard everything, but like
Okay.
that I don't like. If she were to play it as a secret song, I kind of go, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't sing along with
Really?
this
That
one, and it's like
shocks me.
embarrassing. But
Did that happen on the tour? Was
yeah,
there
a lot,
song?
a
Really?
lot. Yeah, and now I know those songs because I would hear them kind of for the first time, not really the first time, but like actually hear them for the first time.
Yeah.
Hit you.
And then I would get really into it. One of those songs, if you're a Swiftie listening, is "Begin Again." I saw that one like front row and was like kind of sad that she picked a song that I didn't really know, and then I was like, oh wait. And then, but yeah, I there's a lot that I don't know because there's so much. I think she has at this point probably 400 songs out there,
Yeah.
around 300 or
Whoa.
400. That
The Beatles have a lot of songs, and
Yes.
I thought I knew every Beatles song, and then I have this piano book that's called The Beatles Complete, which has every
have that.
single. You have The Beatles
or
Complete,
my parents do, yeah.
and I just sometimes flip through it. I'm like, I'll play these, and then there's like dozens and dozens of
So
songs
many.
that I'm like, I've never heard of this ever.
Yes.
Most of them are from their early days. Like, it's not gonna be like there's a song from the White Album or something but like, man, I think maybe like 100 songs in there that I'm like, I've never even heard this song. I don't know if I could find it.
There's so many songs.
Yeah.
I wrote one song and I feel so accomplished and I can't even imagine. And she wrote 31 songs for this album, but she definitely wrote more than that. I mean, like, it takes a lot to get. I think people think that she just put every song she wrote. I guarantee you she wrote 31 other songs
There's
that didn't
some
make
that
it.
she's still writing that are going to appear on an album one day.
Can't wait. Yeah, she writes a song every day. I'm
Yeah.
guessing that's how she processes her life and her thoughts. Like, she definitely is writing constantly, and it's
Like
just
you make a joke every day.
not
multiple.
really, not really. I mean,
I think like
guess
in
in conversation.
Yeah, you don't even realize it.
Yeah, that's
Your brain
true.
just
I just
works
did a
like
Louis
that.
C.K. bit that if I would have just followed it through, I could have gotten to the same place he did.
Could've.
Isn't that so interesting? Like, when you, not that I would ever, if I did that joke, someone would go, "Hey, Nikki, someone has that joke," but that there are opportunities for jokes literally everywhere, and I just drop them.
That one pisses me off. Yeah, it's like, man, why couldn't I think of that one?
Yes.
I'm not a comedic genius like he is.
Well, you are though. Like, you just haven't tapped into the same thing that he's tapped into something. Like, he's
Yeah.
just, he's found I don't know what that is. The flow, like
Have
Yeah.
you tried masturbating in front of people?
I did, and it made me less funny.
I saw the clip the other day of him saying like, addressing that. It was on my
What
Instagram,
did he say?
and he's like, if you want to masturbate in front of someone, ask them, and then if they say yes, ask them again. And then just don't do it.
Yeah.
And don't trust that they really and he's right. Like just don't
Yeah.
because you don't know why they're saying yes. It could be because they just feel uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
And but then he also says that he's like everyone knows my thing. We all have a thing.
That's
and he's
from
like,
his special, yeah.
Obama knows my thing. Was the funniest line because it's just that taking that to the next level. Everyone's already laughing at everyone knows his thing. Even like a little kid on a plane is like, Mama, that's the guy that jerks off in front of women or whatever. But then him saying Obama and you're like, Obama does know.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I wrote a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whenever I see a baby shoe on like it's a missing.
Oh yeah, it's such a sad sight.
I have a song that I always sing when I see the shoe.
What is it?
I'm kind of embarrassed to sing it, but
Well, you started
You
this.
brought
yeah,
it up.
Yeah.
I know because
Okay.
I think people will start singing the song if
I think it's
let
great.
them know.
Okay.
It's baby shoe, yon baby shoe, lying on the street. How did you, yon baby shoe, fall off the baby feet?
That's beautiful. That's like sounds like an old nursery rhyme during the plague.
That's right. That's why I invented that. I wrote that.
Baby,
Yawn.
baby shoe.
Is it
How
yawn
did you-
baby shoe?
Yeah, yon.
Yawn
What's
means
yawn?
what? Your?
I don't know.
Wait.
I think
no.
it's an old timey word.
Okay, yeah. That's so funny. Did it just come out one day?
Yeah, I just saw it and I was walking down the street because I do talk to myself a lot when I'm walking around. I'd have that thing where I try to be in someone else's conversation later. Or if I'm walking down the streets of New York City, I try to say something to myself that someone will turn. And then later on, they'll be like, I heard some guy on the street yelling at someone on the phone about there's too much corn in his soup or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I just heard that humming to yourself is a really good thing to do.
Really?
That you can't think and hum you can't ruminate and hum at the same time, which I don't think is true.
Man, I need to do
But
something like that.
you're supposed to hum to yourself when you're really, because it actually stimulates your vagus nerve and it actually feels the way your mom's voice felt when you
vagus.
were in utero, and it's very comforting. So you
Whoa.
feel like it's kind of like this buzzy vibration.
Yeah, that's like within you.
And then it stops you from hyper focusing on things?
Yes.
I need that so bad.
So just
do
hum to
that.
yourself.
I do that anyway throughout my day.
It's
That's
probably a
good.
soothing technique that you've
yeah.
learned.
It's weird.
Allie does
Sometimes-
it too. She's humming all the time.
Really?
Sometimes
Yeah.
I do it like around other people if there's like a quiet moment that they know that like I'm not in a bad mood. Is that weird?
No, that's so codependent, but yes.
It's not even like an awkward silence that I'm trying to fill. I just don't want them to think that I'm like
Yeah.
mad at them.
No,
it
I-
usually happens at work.
Which
I've had-
If you
Enneagram
have to
is
like
she?
work around somebody.
Which Enneagram are you?
2?
9.
9.
Oh, 9.
The
yes,
peacemaker.
That makes sense.
Peacemaker. Well, yeah. I mean, I had a makeup artist that would do that. Like, I could just tell she didn't like the awkward silences, so she would just go every time she's doing any of my makeup, and it's like too silent because she
Yeah.
just needs to. I think the type of person she is, I think, is this similar where it's like she has to make sure people know she's not mad at them or like not in a bad mood.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that
Like,
guy on
happy
Love on
to
the
do my
Spectrum.
job.
Remember when he's like, yeah, I'm very excited, and he's like, talks like this, and he always does high fives, and he's like, yeah, and I bring joy to the world, and that's what I do. And the
Yeah.
girl is kind of talking to him and going like, hey, do you? He's like, I'm just worried if it gets quiet that I'm not gonna know what to say. What do I say if it gets quiet on my date? And she goes, you can just like not talk. And he's like, but I bring joy to the world. And he's like, and his realization when she was just like, you don't always have to say something all the time and because he grew up with a mom that thought, because he had autism, they were so worried about him all the time. So he had to always project that he was okay and he's happy and he's in a good mood. And yeah, that sucks when you have to pretend like you're in a that you have to your mood is so volatile to people, or that you sense that it is, that you have to like calm other people down around it.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And it bleeds into my personality in a way that like just because I've worked in hospitality for so long and just like your whole day is just like smiling and like you just become a people pleaser. Like you just kind of have to be.
God.
My face hurts at the end of the day
Yeah,
from
good smiling muscles,
Oh
though.
my
Those muscles are good to
Yes,
work
like,
out.
And I hate that I'm causing wrinkles like not for a joyous reason, but just because I'm like placating your gluten-free order or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like just smiling extra hard.
Maybe it's helping you though a little bit to smile. It's maybe subconsciously it's telling your brain that you're happy even though you're not.
Smile and then your brain will think that you are or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to smile way more.
I am too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to actually get those crow's feet activated because I've noticed in all my pictures because of Botox, I have like dead eyes when my rest of my face will be excited, and it's like I like having a little bit of like a crinkle here.
crow.
Yeah,
It's good.
It shows that you're like that you have like warmth in you. Like I think there's a warmth in a crinkle in an eye, and that is a Taylor Swift lyric. There's a crinkle lyric, and I know if you're Swiftie, you're thinking about it right now, and so am I. We will talk more about all of this and less about Taylor Swift because I'm going to do an episode fully dedicated to it later this week. After this. All right. So what happened in Indianapolis?
Right. So my Indy calamity. So Indianapolis, I love the Colts. Okay. But when it comes to Indiana, I think I'm more of a Bloomington, Indiana guy than an Indianapolis guy.
Okay.
Indianapolis is not the best city in Indiana, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Wait, what's the best? Bloomington is.
Bloomington. I mean, if you want to call it a city, it's a college town. Yeah. And it's in the most beautiful county in Indiana, I believe.
Have you been to all of Indiana though? Like these statements of like it's the best, you know.
I've been to a lot of Indiana.
Okay.
We went to Gary.
We did go to Gary.
I've been to the Indiana Dunes. I've been to Indianapolis. I've been to Monroe County.
I can't think of another city in Indiana besides Gary and Indianapolis.
Well, there's
and Bloomington.
Terre Haute.
Yep, I do know that one.
That's where National Death Row is.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you want to go visit that, you can.
Evansville.
You can get a Viato.
Oh, Evansville. That's a good one.
Fast food capital of the
Evansville.
world.
They have a college too.
It's where they test every
Purdue?
fast food.
Purdue's just a college.
Okay, well,
where-
what's the
I
city?
I forgot where it is. West Lafayette.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay, so Indianapolis, not a fan.
I'm a fan, but not a fan. Their food is not usually good. There's some good places, but we went to this place that was recommended to us by the audience. Not a good sign. Like, I feel like you can't trust an audience recommending you any dinner options.
Really? Why?
Well, because it just
Turned
doesn't
out-
usually work out. We went to
Okay.
this place, and it was just like packed, and it was like a bar after sports place. But anyway, I ate it, and my real calamity was my hotel was pretty expensive, and it was not a great hotel. My bathroom wasn't like updated, and my toilet wouldn't flush.
Oh God.
So the whole weekend, I'm just like using that toilet, and it's just like filling up with stuff, and like you can flush it a little bit
Lord.
after things like break down for a while, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm paying like whatever, like $300 a night. I should have a
What?
toilet.
Yeah.
I should.
Crazy.
Did you call the front desk?
No, because I was like,
Well, this is a behavior that you've
Because
repeated over and over.
I
That
s-
one night you couldn't sleep because there was techno music at the hotel that we were staying at, and you didn't sleep the whole night. And I go, why didn't you call the front desk? And you were like, I just thought it would stop eventually.
and that's what I thought I'd stop shitting.
Okay, you need to hum, and you need to hum
What I was
louder. and
really
complain.
thinking was, I'm not going to be here for that long. I can have a non-functioning toilet for 3 days.
I mean, I've been there. I'm projecting. I get what you're doing here.
And then we went to this place, the Slippery Noodle, and I got food poisoning.
Oh God, that sounds disgusting. The slippery noodle.
Exactly, yeah.
Ugh.
I got food poisoning, and so I had
What
to.
did you eat?
It was like French onion soup, a baked potato. I don't know. I think it was the soup.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I had to puke, and I had to puke in the tub because
Oh
my
my
toilet was filled with
God.
shit.
Oh my God, Brian. I am so disturbed by this.
I was just kneeling down on a
This
pillow,
sucks.
puking in the tub all night, next to a pile of my own shit.
Are you pregnant? This sounds like the problems on the girls chat. Just everyone like this is ridiculous.
I know.
And so the chunks of puke you had to like
And then I
push-
turned on the shower
Yeah.
to wash away the puke, and the steam from the shower made the fire alarm go off. In
Oh
the
my
No.
God.
No.
And I'm in so much pain. I'm writhing in pain. I'm trying to get the fire alarm to turn off, puking in the tub. And what's ironic about it, Alanis, is that there was a fire convention, a fire department convention in Indy that weekend in the hotel.
Whoa.
This hotel was filled
What was
with.
the hotel? Can we name check it? Isn't it?
No,
Sounds like it.
no. I
Okay.
love it.
You could get a free
I know those are nice,
stay.
but those are like 300. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
your moment.
That's but this
want
is
me to
your
slam
fault that
them?
you did not say, "Hey, can I get a plunger or something?"
Yeah.
Like
Well-
that's at the very least. Like when I poop up a toilet,
Yeah.
I don't let them do it. I just say, bring me a plunger. You know what I need.
Over time, because it was like almost fine. Because over time, if you just let it sit there overnight,
it would
marinate,
like finally like start to sink down.
and then you can flush it.
Yes.
So it's like, you know what? It's not like it's overflowing.
Yeah. Something I've changed about my life, and I was just saying on the Girls Chat today that I don't think I've changed in the past 5 years at all. Like I look at pictures, like in terms of looks, I've changed. But like I eat the same things, I wear the same things, I sit the same way, I talk the same way.
That's called having a style and a personality.
I don't think it is. Like it's all stuff I'm ashamed of though. Like I was looking at a picture of my green room from 3 years ago, and it's the same like dinner I'm eating. It's just the same bullshit. Like it's just I look immature. Like
That's
I'm just
good,
stunted.
Though. It's good to be a creature of habit. It's comforting. It's
I get
good
that,
for your
and
body.
I very much am. But I want to just evolve, and I just think my personality has not changed at all. I don't think I've become more tolerant, more nice, more like less depressed. Like I'm just like kind of in the same rut of that stuff. But that's beside the point.
Smoking
I would
cigarettes.
disagree. But
Something that I do think I've changed recently is that I don't totally trash my hotel room. Like it's not if I'm I buy a bunch of new makeup and I take all of it out of its wrappers and I'm doing all my makeup before a show. Usually I would come back home and it would just be a nightmare in there, and then I'd clean it up. I wouldn't even clean it up. I'd eventually leave it for the maid and then put down a 20 to be like, oh, she's gonna clean up after me. Now I put everything in a trash can as soon as I unwrap it. Like my hotel room looks kind of presentable, and I think it's because I'm scared I'm gonna die and I don't want people to see.
Keep saying that.
That's more of like I just think someone's gonna have to like come get me in my hotel room, and I don't want them to be like disgusted by it. So I think that's probably keeping me doing
there's
it.
always those death pictures, like Brittany Murphy's death, or like the Whitney Houston.
Her bathroom. Everyone was like, it's a mess, and I was like, it looks so organized to me.
Why are there so many products just scattered about? Just that is the
because
common
they're famous.
denominator. There's so many products.
They're famous,
littered,
and because they don't have minimalist style, and because they're crazy, because this business makes people crazy.
Yes, it's
and
crazy
you become a
making.
hoarder, and you get tons of products sent to you all the time, new things, and you feel bad saying no because this is a $500 value. Just 2 years ago, I would have done anything for that. I couldn't afford that, and so now I'm getting it for free, so I'll say yes to it. And then you get it, and then you're like, I have to post about it, and then they follow up and they go, hey, have you gotten the product yet? Yes, I have. I haven't had a chance to use it. I'm on the road. And then you just keep ignoring their DMs because you feel bad you haven't used it, and even if you do, you don't really like it, and you don't even know how to talk about it because you don't even think your skin's that good to even promote it, because people are going to be like, why would I even want Nikki Glaser skin? So you feel like ashamed that you even are someone who should promote something skincare wise. But yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I've just started, and I used to always, if I pee, I'd never flush if I'm staying in my own apartment or hotel until it gets like
environmental reason.
Lazy. Like I just don't care about like having to turn around, touch a toilet. First of all, I don't like washing my hands either in my own apartment. So I'm just like, I don't need to add germs to this, because if I flush the toilet, I have to wash my hands. And if I don't flush the toilet, I feel like, I didn't
Flush
get
it
any.
with your shoe.
That's a little much for like the little tiny silver handle on the side, and
I do
sometimes
it.
it's like a dot on the top, a button on the top.
Button, I hate the button on the top.
I hate the
Yeah.
button on the
And
I
there's
don't
like-
want to stick my finger in.
Every new toilet
into
is
a toilet.
that.
What
That's
the
such a
fuck?
good point.
I know.
It's disgusting. It's too hard to push, and you wind up.
And they're split sometimes because one is like
Ugh,
the,
and
just
then
for
you
pee
grind
and
your
one's for
finger
poop,
in it.
But
and you're
Brian,
like,
you don't have
just
nails. You know how gross it is with nails
Oh,
whenever
God,
you go
nails
down,
are just
and then your
awful.
nail scrapes the.
when I
the
get a
hole on the way
manicure
down.
and they
Ugh.
get the dirt out from under my nails, it's one of the most embarrassing moments of my
Yeah.
life, and I always forget to like do it before going in.
Yeah.
It's like getting the toilet paper out of your vagina before you go to the
Feels so good.
gynecologist, and I do that. I always think about that.
That's
but I
like
don't-
cleaning your hotel room before you die.
Yes.
You want
yes.
your-
So I've started flushing right away.
But I'll tell you
And
what.
then I'll go to the toilet and I'm like, oh my God, it's like doesn't have piss and toilet paper in it. And it
Yeah.
like makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
I clean up like wrappers and stuff. But in hotel rooms, I used to just trash them because it was like, who cares?
I think
Like
you
Mick Jagger.
gotta
Not
keep
in a
this
way
habit.
that's like dirty where the maid is like, ew. Oh, and for instance,
It's
the
all
other
new
day,
stuff that you leave. It's
the other
packaging, you're
day,
saying.
I was in New Orleans and I was leaving my hotel room. I got to show you this picture. And I I set a water bottle on my bed and I spilled it. And I was like, oh, fuck, And I was like, oh no, the maid is going to think this is piss. Because also a spray tan had been on that area too, it's like right where I was sleeping. So it looked like orangey, and then it was like so much water. So it looked like just a huge bladder full of piss. So I wrote, something I'm just realizing is so racist. I assumed they speak Spanish, and that's really ignorant.
Hola.
But I think I had encountered them already. I think I had encountered the maid already, and she was. Oh yeah, actually I had, because I asked for where the gym was, and the woman that was doing the rooms, no habla inglés.
Lo siento, ¿dónde está el gimnasio?
So I looked up. It's water, not pee. I'm sorry, and
Okay.
I wrote it with a tip.
Oh my God.
Because I just didn't want her to go like, ew, like I'm sure they're used to it, but like that gives
This
her a
is-
little peace of mind.
She wasn't thinking that.
100% she would. It was right where I was like, would be laying. And it had like a tint to it.
You spilled water on the bed.
That had a tint to it because it was on the spray tan that I'd already
Okay.
deposited. 100% she would have thought it was
I
piss.
bet you she wouldn't have even clocked it. Like they just strip the bed and throw it in there, but now there's a note making them acknowledge that there is a stain on this
And
thing.
I can't believe I didn't even put it in English too. Like that is, I'm such a piece of shit. But I
Lo siento.
do think I knew she really was like, I would not have done that had I not known. But I think I was also thinking about my joke
Maybe
of killing
you're
myself in a
Spanish.
hotel room and writing in Spanish. Like a note on the door that says someone's dead in here. Like, and I would write, because I wouldn't want them to like
Oh my
find
God.
me.
Right,
Because that's
right.
disturbing. So I'd want them to call like a coroner.
Just
first.
put the do not disturb thing on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I
And I didn't do a background, like the exclamation point upside down, which I
Oh.
always think that's such a fun thing about the Spanish language, and I
Yes.
didn't even do it on there.
wasted opportunity.
Bad call.
Yeah, you should have done it in a different. They should have done it in like Russian or something. Then they'd be
Yeah,
really
I-
confused.
I don't even know that I knew this woman spoke Spanish. I just figured she did.
Have you ever seen the documentary on Netflix called Working that Obama did? And they follow workers like
Yeah.
in a hotel, and it starts with like the maid, and then it goes to like the chefs, the maitre d', and then it goes all the way to the top and the hotel owner. But anyway, the maids, what stuck out to me, they said that rarely people say hello to them or even look at them. Like as they're working, as you're passing a maid like in a hall, so you should always like, look
Eye
them in the eye and
contact?
say like good morning,
Same.
because like they're people.
I look at
Oh,
eye
God.
contact every time because there's a part of me that doesn't want to look at them because I'm embarrassed of what they have to clean up of mine, of other people's, and I'm like, I feel sorry for them, and
But I
that's like such a like, who am I to be like, your life is so sad? So I always
Yeah,
make a
they
point to
chose
look
it.
at them because I'm like, they're, and I want to be like,
And they're
and
in
I
a
want to
good
wink
mood,
at
like-
them a little bit, like you're about to get a little treat in that room, some piss and a tip, because I did put money on that too. By the way, there's some money on
Yes,
in that
yes.
picture
Which
as well.
is so nice because nobody ever does that.
Everyone needs to tip.
Yes.
This morning I couldn't because I didn't have any cash, and I want to call the hotel and just be like, "Is there a Venmo for the?"
That would be nice. Nobody has money anymore. They need to start having like a
Everyone needs a
Venmo, for
Venmo.
your yeah.
Everyone needs a Venmo. But the thing is, if you don't have change or whatever, just go down to the front desk and tell them to get change at the front desk before you check out, and then they'll put it in an envelope and write it on there.
But there should
and
be
then
a
they'll
little
pocket it
Venmo
later.
QR code in your room
Absolutely.
that lets you tip the staff.
You know what I don't need in my hotel room anymore? You guys telling me that I can hang up my towel and reuse my towel
yeah.
to
Oh
save
my
the
God.
environment.
Horse
And there's like a
shit.
little picture of a seal with it. Like, we're doing our best. No, you don't want to hire enough people.
Yeah.
And you want to save money on
Yes,
cleaning.
on water.
And
And
yes,
now
exactly.
you're pawning it off on being environmentally conscious.
It's such bullshit. And there's literally a picture of a seal. Like, this guy is going to live. We're not going to club him to death because
Yeah.
we're so angry that we have to pick up your towels. But I do reuse towels like crazy.
Yeah, they could say that about anything too. They could be like, "We only put one pillow in your room because we want to save the geese."
And thank you for joining us in this fight. They
Yeah.
always make you like, well, that you volunteered somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And it's like, what if I'm a Republican?
right.
I don't give a shit about the geese.
You know what? Not only Republican, everyone doesn't
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
Because it's all seems to not be going very well. But that's beside the point. There's a new Taylor Swift album. Things are
Last-
looking up. What was that?
I was gonna say we're talking about hotels.
Yeah.
Last weekend, I had an experience
Oh, my
where
God.
I was promised
This
a
is
place
insane.
to stay, and
You were working Coachella.
yeah, and I would have
Oh,
given anything
God.
for a hotel. I would have taken a Brian Frangie hotel with shit in the toilet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would have slept in that puke tub.
It was hilarious because I got this gig. So I do service industry stuff. All right, the jig is up. I'm telling you. whenever I'm not a comic.
The jig is up. So you've been trying to pretend like you don't.
We keep talking about like kind of what I do for work, but then like not. But anyway, I'm a server.
Yeah.
So I got hired to do this gig at Coachella, and they told me to leave early enough to be there to work the day, like, you know, as a bottle service waitress, bartender, whatever. So to beat the traffic, we had to leave at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Damn.
I'm driving. I get to the
India?
desert. Yeah. To beat the traffic. And then, so they were like, well, there's this Airbnb where all the girls can crash to like sleep before we work this party. And we're supposed to be bottle service too. So we're supposed to be like hot and cute with like a cute outfit, hair
Yeah, you
done,
were working
makeup.
for Celsius, right?
Yeah, it was like this
Oh my
Celsius event.
And they gave you like Celsius clothes to
yeah,
wear.
and it was like these leather booty shorts and like combat
What did you do with
boots
that
and, like,
outfit? Did you have to give it
I
back?
still have it. Do you want it?
I was just like saw the outfit and I was like, that's kind of cute.
It
Like, what do
was
you do with it? Okay.
No, it was so fun. Like the experience was so good, but I just thought this was so funny because like we literally show up to this Airbnb at 5 a.m. It's still dark outside. And there's just like all the lights are off. Everybody's clearly sleeping at this house. And our information is just that this is where we're staying. So we start like knocking on the door, and this disheveled man answers. It's like one of the bartenders, because there were bartenders that went up the day before to like set up for this event.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, hey, yeah, oh, we thought you guys were going to be here later. There's no beds. So, and I'm with 4 girls, and we have like all our like blankets and bags and stuff. Thank God I thought to bring like blankets and a
Good
pillow.
job.
Wow.
And they were like, he was like, yeah, there's like some pool chairs out by the pool.
She had to
Jesus
sleep on a
Christ.
goddamn pool chair, and she didn't sleep because you had to work. At what time did you have to be up to start?
I mean,
setting
we
up?
had to be at the thing at 11:30 and be all
So
cute.
you were there at 5.
Yeah, so we
Is
got there
this-
at 5. So we were supposed to
I don't
nap.
understand.
How does that even work?
How could this be worth it?
I know.
How
Well,
much
we got
was
paid.
it?
We got paid.
You
well.
did?
Yeah, and I got a free T-Pain concert. Don't be jealous.
Yeah.
Um,
When I go to these like swanky events, sometimes like celebrity events where there's like it's a big deal and everyone's having the time of their life, I do feel bad for like the caterers. Sometimes I'm like, this is so cool they get to be here, but I feel like I would feel
No,
if
I
I
thought it
were
was
that I'd feel
fun.
so resentful of like, who do these people think they are? I'm just as good as you and you have no idea because I'm
No.
wearing a Celsius shirt or whatever. Like you don't feel like they
I-
treat you bad or like they ignore you.
No,
You
they
don't
were
feel
nice.
seen?
I mean, like it was just like getting paid to go to a concert. Really, like
Yeah.
the day part of it was fun.
Great.
But like, and I also feel like I time traveled because I haven't like done bottle service in a long time. Haven't been asked. And so to
Aged
just
out.
be like, just be like a hot girl in like the outfit again, just like dancing and vibing to T-Pain, which that was the music
That was
from
the
the
vibe.
era
Yeah.
of whenever I did bottle service.
Yes.
So like that song that's like, I like the bartender, you
Oh,
know.
yeah, that
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
all those, like that was me again, just like slinging bottles.
do
'cause it
Baby
was
Shoe?
fun. But we did every song was a banger. You almost made me think that was a hit for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
he did do Baby Shoe.
Wow.
That is cool when you go to a show and you go, I'm not going to know any of that. And you go,
I
oh my
didn't think
God,
I'd
they
know
have
one.
so many hits.
Literally everyone was a hit.
Yeah.
But to get to that, we had to sleep in the pool chairs, which was hilarious, which was like this scene of just like a nice ass pool, like waterfalls going, hot tub, everything.
Oh,
and
good.
there was like beer cans all spread around. Like you could tell they had like partied the night before. Somebody enjoyed the Airbnb.
Yeah.
But I didn't sleep because I was just like, I have to start rolling my hair and like somehow look hot
God,
to work
I
in
mean,
the desert
isn't life like,
and drink so much Celsius.
do you feel like, oh yeah, did that get you through?
mainlining Celsius?
Oh wait, I had one last week and I was like, holy shit, like it went right through me.
Yeah.
Right through me.
It's a great,
It,
it's a clean, you know, it's
It's
not
a
like
clean
a Red
high.
Bull. It's not like a Monster.
yeah. I forgot like, I feel like I'm stressed out about even hearing that story because I would have had so much dread of like this day where I'm on no sleep. I'm already tired. And then I went to this thing, I got no sleep. And then I have to look hot. And then I have to like
So much dread.
just how long and is there an end in sight? Do you know when it's over? Because I think that's like my biggest thing in life is I need to know when things are over. And if I do, then I'll be okay. Like when I do meet and greets, I don't mind doing meet and greets, but I want to know how many people are left.
And with
not
service
because I'm like
industry
I
stuff,
can't
it's-
wait till it's over. It just gives because sometimes the meet and greet line like snakes
Yeah.
around.
You gotta see
and
that
I will
end.
be like looking at Matt like how many more? Not because I'm like, I hate this. I really just want to see an end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CNN.
CNN.com.
Yeah.
The service
I just want to
industry
go home and
stuff,
watch
too,
Wolf.
it's never hard out with anything of service. It's like, well, we got to see when everybody clears out of
Really?
here, and then we got to, well, we got to pack up all these tables, and then once we get the bottles loaded back into the truck, like you just never really know.
I
the
feel
end.
anyone who works in the service industry, shout out to you for like not. There's cool unknowns about the service industry. I think like not for your job right now because you guys like just pull all your tips together. And so it's like at the end of the night, I guess it's always different, but it's not like based on your performance.
Yeah,
what
it's
you
just
get.
always pretty
Not that it ever
the
is,
same.
because they've done studies and waitresses who are really nice and do the best job ever make the same tips as, or like maybe sometimes less tips than people who are straight up rude or just like have no personality. It's like there's no really like science to it.
Yeah.
It's random. But I did like that part about waitressing that every time there was a little dopamine hit of like seeing what they left.
Yes.
Like and the it's like a roll of the dice of like what's it going to land on, and you can never expect it, but it's random enough that I think scientists would probably deem it a good thing as for a dopamine hit because it's not
like
you
a
can't
slot
count on
machine.
it. Yeah, it doesn't give you it every time, and that is a fun part about it. Whereas a salary job is just like I just know what
Well,
it's
you get
going
a
to be.
bonus.
Yeah, I don't
You
see
get a
how you're
bonus.
motivated
true.
at all because you're just like phoning it in every day.
But that would be
There's
nice
so many-
too, because if you just, I do envy people who have jobs that they don't have to take home. And I know that's a rarer thing than we all think it is because most
Yeah.
people's work does follow them home,
Oh
even if
my
you're a
God.
waitress.
Yes, you can't shake it.
Yeah, like what follows you home as a waitress?
I mean, literally.
And sorry to
A
say
drunk
waitress,
guy.
server.
It really is true. I'm
Female
not
server.
I'm not offended by anything
Serveress.
except for if you call me ma'am. That's the only thing
Oh,
that gets me
God.
offended. But like,
worst.
really, I will remember something once I'm home. Like, oh, I forgot to bring them honey.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like something like that will pop up, and it I hate that it lives in my
Yes.
brain, but it
Oh
does.
yeah,
and like,
that sucks.
it gets so fast, like what we do, especially this restaurant where I work, where like everybody comes all at once to power lunch and then they're gone. So it's like
Yeah.
all 12 o'clock and 1. Brian, you came and ate lunch there. You saw. I actually
Yes.
want to hear about your experience of what you saw. But like there's times whenever people ask you something and you're walking to the computer to ring it in, and then somebody else comes up and tells you something.
Yep.
Hey, your table needs whatever. And then
And
you're
then-
like, fuck, I forgot that thing.
It's like when you're in a document and you cut it, and then someone asks you something, and then instead of pasting it somewhere, you don't never paste it, and it's just lost in the world.
That.
Yes.
What
That
the
is
fuck?
why. That is
Can
literally.
we fix that?
That is literally why I've forgotten to do roast jokes. Minutes before I was completing my set to turn in for the prompter. I mean, like an hour before the show, cut a joke. That was one of my favorite jokes I've ever written.
Yes.
And I'm on the dais, and Jeff Ross does a joke about the similar topic that just reminds me of the joke, and I've already done my, and I go, oh my God, where's that joke? And it's just like there's gambling involved where I'm just like, well, or negotiating in my mind of like, well, maybe like because this edits together later, I can just like can I just ask them if I can go back up and do it
Yeah.
because it's so essential. It's like that happens all the time with cutting and pasting
What
things.
there's supposed to be a thing called a clipboard, which is a invisible thing on your computer that has
has
all the
all
stuff
the
that
things.
you cut. And I feel like that's impossible to access. It's gone and only keeps one thing, the last thing that you cut. There needs to
bullshit.
be a feature where you can retrieve all the things that you've cut that have been lost into the space of your processor or whatever.
Well, last night, talk about wasting time on online. I tried to make I did make a reel with all these pictures of me from that Matt takes on tour that are amazing, and I rarely post them all because I'm usually like when I see pictures from the past weekend, I'm always just like, oh God, you look
need
like that, but I need
time away from
time.
them.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I have all these pictures, and there's like this new Taylor Swift song that is about performing when you're depressed. And shout out to all the Swifties who are like, Nikki, you are going to love I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, because it is about part of the song is like, I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday every day. And she's just like, she's talking about how I can do it with a broken heart. She's like hitting her marks. I'm a real tough kid. I can handle my shit. They said, baby, you can make it till you fake it. So I did. Lights, camera, bitch, smile. Even when you want to die. He said he loved me for all time. Then the lights were good. It's all just about like she's going through heartbreak, but she's on Eras tour, which is, I mean, I'm going to get into it later on the other podcast, but it's incredible because anyone who's seen her on Eras tour, me 12 times, going to be 15 after the summer. she was performing depressed. I did predict it. I did say there was a sadness I could sense at some points, because why wouldn't there be? And I'm a performer. I know what it's like to perform when you're depressed. It doesn't mean that you're having a bad show and that the whole time you're like, I wish I wouldn't be on stage. It takes you out of it. But if you're a pro, you can do it with a broken heart, which she says that. And even at the end of the song, she's like, come for my job. Like, you can. I'm the best at this. I can do this no matter what.
Yes.
I'll always be able to perform no matter what's going on in my life, and it's so good. But anyway, I took that song and I was like, people are using it in reels a lot, so I was like, I need to get on this fast, because I don't want like just people who are like, oh, this song's fun, that don't even like Taylor to like beat me to it, and then I'm just jumping on this trend. So I I spent 2 hours yesterday making a reel. It's so hard to time things and to edit on the Instagram app, but I don't have editing software, so I can't do it elsewhere.
You get CapCut.
That's what everybody says. CapCut.
CapCut's really easy.
Okay, well, that's all I needed, but I ended up being like, okay, I was like, I'm gonna send it to like someone to make for me, but then I would have to say this picture, then I want it on lights, camera, bitch, smile, and then on smile, and I can't trust other people's sense of rhythm, which even if you watch it, it's slightly off, and it bugs me so much that it's slightly off.
Yeah.
And if you zoom in on a picture on Reels to be like, and you crop it, it does like a weird glitchy thing when it switches to it. So you have to edit all the photos beforehand to be the right size, because you can't crop within it. Why can't they just fix it and make it better?
I don't know. Paste.
CapCut. Okay, I'll do it in CapCut, but it took me, it was like 4 hours of my life doing this dumb thing that's gotten 1,000 likes, which seems like a lot, but it's not when I posted 11, like, I think I posted it 3 hours ago and I have 1 million followers. It's like, that's not worth it.
No. Story of...
I have so much to do. That was
such
dumb.
a shame. It's just, that's the industry though also now. It's like, we're
stupid.
Our whole job is to create content for Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
That's all we have. That's all we can do now. Constantly, and it's never ending.
We talked about it with Benedict. It's once you post something, it's like, what's next? And that's the same thing with the business of like, if I do a show, I did 3 shows this weekend that were like amazing. The crowd screaming, like so much adoration, like so much pomp and circumstance. And then it's just like, all right, that's done now. Those people will, it's over.
We live in this age, and it's good and bad too. Cause like, whenever we were growing up, we would have killed to be on TV and have our own TV show. It's like, well, guess what? Now you have your own TV show. There you go. Instagram, you have your own channel. Go.
Now what are you gonna do?
YouTube, go.
Yeah, but
you
that's
got
not
a show.
exactly.
You
That's
got a
not
channel.
what the dream was.
Well, but you really can make anything you
can
want.
make anything you want.
Not at the level you want to make it at, but you can. If you want to make a movie, you can shoot a movie with your iPhone.
If YouTube
But
would have
that's
been
not the
around
dream.
whenever I was a child, I would be so famous right now.
Really?
Like, all I did was make content and movies and like with like a home.
But you don't have time
camera.
now. Would you want to do it now if you had time?
No, I feel so silly being my age and like trying on wigs and being different characters. Like,
But is that what you wanna do? You like characters?
And it, like, no, like I've. I struggle with this, like what to put out, because it just feels silly. But like what takes off is the wigs and the characters.
People love
and
those
whatever
wigs.
Yes.
People love.
You know
the
what's so
TikTok.
funny? When a guy puts a towel on his head and pretends to be his mother.
And listen, some of those things hit. Like you follow
Sometimes
somebody.
I like it.
And sometimes they hit, and you're like, this one's really funny. But then
Totally.
you look at the other ones, and you're like, and then it's so.
Dude,
cringe.
there's a girl who just sits in her car and just goes like, hey, like, she'll just do the most mundane observations, but I'm addicted to it. I forget her name, but she just does. What did she do a thing about the other day? It was, it's just like, there's a new term called yapping. Like it's pretty much like what we know yapping is like
So
girls
it's-
just talking too much, and it's like
How is that a new term?
Well, it's like catchy now to be like, oh, she's a yapper.
Uh-huh.
I'm a yapper. We're all yappers, and like there's a picture of Taylor Swift talking, like her mouth is open, and while she's out to Nobu with Travis Kelce, and someone was like, oh, we've got a like grade A yapper on our hands. It's like every jock guy needs a yapper girlfriend, and so it's just like we're yappers, and it's
Okay.
kind of like an endearing term. It's not like
Okay.
oh, she's just a fucking
Stop chirping in my ear.
yeah. It's actually like it's cool to be a yapper, but this girl is
Okay.
just like she just does. I don't even. But it's in her car, which is now the new thing, and the still for it is a very sexy picture of her in the mirror,
Well, that's
a sexy
trick.
selfie, and then it's not anywhere in the content.
No, that's a
That's a new trick.
I don't like that one. I
try
want to see
that
the
one.
sexy content.
I like it because you know why? You can't get back to it. And if you really want to see it, you're going to have to like screenshot it like a loser. So like you can post a hot picture without it being like, look at me. So it's just like the subtle hot thing.
Yeah.
That's just a blink. And I think I
It's
like
just a
that.
trick. Well, I can't
that.
utilize that trick in my social media. So
You can just take a hot picture of girls.
a different girl.
Yeah, that's true. You can't use that, but you have other things going.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but you got that. Just kidding. But yeah, you're a man. Like we all have our things.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
go, why do they get to do that and we don't get to?
No, there's
Like
no-
you don't have to look hot.
No, I don't have to look at like anything. I don't even go on camera.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, you do.
So my whole point.
Aren't we
I
on
guess for the
camera
apples,
now?
I do.
Yeah, and we're on camera literally right
God.
now. Fuck. And your hat matches your shirt.
Oh hell yeah!
You like coordinated
This
today.
hat is awesome. Shout out to Ink and Stitch, a local LA embroidery shop. It's the best. I mean, this is what local businesses. Everyone loves local businesses, but going to a place like Ink and Stitch, I realize how awesome local businesses can be when there's a passionate business owner who actually cares about what they're doing,
Oh,
as
yeah.
opposed to like going to Lids and having some 19-year-old who goes to
Yes.
West LA Community College be like, yeah, I'll make your stupid fucking hat.
People that like their jobs and are but we were just talking about like we feel sorry for like people like I wouldn't want to work here, but then people you walk in these places and they're like happy that they're working there.
Yeah.
Like we worked at a venue last night, the Paramount Theater in Huntington, and we go to these theaters all the time in casinos, and like people are just like they hate their jobs. You know, it sucks. Like working a union gig sometimes at these theaters, and these guys are disgruntled and like kind of like don't tell me what to do and a little gruff. But these people are so nice, so excited to have us.
Yeah.
Everyone who works there is not. You can tell they just whoever's the boss of that place, whoever is at the top is probably a good person because it's trickled
Yeah.
down and everyone's happy.
Yes, it's always
and we
that.
were like, it's so weird. We had to even note that these people were just like basically decent. Like we were like,
Yeah.
you guys are so nice, and they're like, yeah, we just like. We all hang out outside of work. Like we just all we like who we are and we like what we're doing. We're not yearning for more. This is enough, and
That's
we make
great.
enough money, and like, or at least
Yeah.
they seem to be. And they were so freaking nice.
Well, that's what happens when you pay your employees a living wage and give them. If you
Well,
just,
it was funny because
they don't.
well, no, they do.
Oh.
But we were like, it's so great here. Like it was two guys in like the doorway, and one of them's probably like more of the. More in charge of like more of a boss situation, what's senior position, and then the other one was like not as much, and the other guy was like a little like just had a little personality quirkiness that was a little different, but like nothing bad or anything, but just like just a different vibe. He took a picture with me and was like, I'm such a fan. I love you so much, but we got to talk about your feet. Like, what's going on with your feet? Like, and I think he was trying to connect with me and like give me,
Interesting.
but it was just a weird moment. But I really do like that guy.
What's
Yeah.
going on with your feet?
I think he just wanted. I
Bunions?
think he just wanted to prove that he was like a next level fan.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right.
Not the best way to do it, but I was like, actually, I love my feet, and I'm never getting them operated on because I like the pain of them being massaged. And that shut him up real quick. He was like, okay, let's get a picture. I'm done with this conversation. So then, but these guys were, and we were like, we love this vibe so much here. You guys just seem great. And he's like, yeah. The senior guy was like, yeah, we all hang out. Like, we're all going bowling tomorrow. And the guy behind him goes, you are? And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, we talked about it on the Slack. And he goes, there's a Slack?
Oh my god!
It was so funny because then when they left, me and Ari were just like, oh boy, like that was such a funny moment where we're like, it's so cool that you all like work together and love each other. And this one guy's clearly been left out of all of this stuff.
Wow.
And it was just a funny moment, but I'm sure he's on the Slack now.
Ari Finling, who also went to Indiana University.
God, so
Insane.
crazy. Really?
Yeah.
I always forget that about him, even though he literally told me that 12 hours ago.
Yeah.
I love Ari so much. Okay, we're going to take a break and come back with more after this. Yeah, it was a massive weekend of Waukegan, Illinois on Friday.
Did you see the falls?
Yes,
You did?
we drove past them on
Oh.
Saturday in
Pretty
Seneca.
cool, right?
Yeah,
Well-
I didn't see like the big part of it. I think I thought we were going because the guy had picked us up at the airport and was like, "Do you guys want to see the falls? It'll just take 5 minutes." And we were like, "We love a 5-minute tourist
Yeah.
destination. That's all it takes." And then we just kind of drove through, and then we never ended up parking. And then we were at the casino. We were like, "Did we see anything?" Like I saw just kind of like rapids, but I didn't
How
see the
close
falls.
was the casino to the falls?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, that's one of the things. The Niagara Falls is a situation that actually helped establish more national parks and federal park lands in America because people didn't like how Niagara Falls was capitalized on by different businesses. Like if you go to Niagara Falls, it doesn't feel like a park. It feels like there's like the Vegas Strip right next to the falls,
Oh.
ruining the nature and the pristine, sights that you can see, but adding a lot of money to the region.
Right.
And so other places were like, you can't do this here. You're not going to do this at the Grand Canyon. Imagine you go to the Grand Canyon and like surrounding
There's
the
a city.
ridges,
Yeah.
there's like a casino on the ridge. That would be
Yeah.
terrible.
People will be
And-
jumping into the canyon because they lost all their money.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's what people do at Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Because there's so many casinos around, they have suicides from people losing all their
sure.
money. And then if you, so it empties out into Canada, I guess. And if you try to commit suicide, and sometimes people survive the falls, you owe Canada money because they had to like fish you out. Like you end up
Wow.
owing.
survive.
There's one way where it's like it's almost like 50-50, where it's like there's a way you can go off the falls where you probably will survive. That's what the driver was telling us.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But and Anya was like, so do
reliable.
they always do it in a barrel? She thought that somebody wanted to kill themselves would have to go get a barrel. Can you imagine?
So all we had to do is shut down that barrel store and people will stop killing themselves.
Saved so many lives and closed that barrel store.
But it's true. But that
It's
is
because
funny. He was
Houdini
just-
did it in a barrel,
Yeah,
right?
I
Is
mean,
that what
I
you're
don't
thinking?
know.
Somebody-
It's just like, but it's
It was
like
a big thing in the 1930s.
People would
go
He's
down
gonna
it.
go over the edge of the falls in a
she
barrel.
really was like, so where do they? So the barrel, how does that work its way in? Like she thought it was so cute. And then she told me a story when she was there that before I went on stage, she was like, because I don't have anything to say about this region, and I want to say something to like about a joke about their area. People love that. I couldn't think of anything, and she was like, well, last time I remember being on tour here and driving through. And there was a blizzard, and people in Buffalo were like, you got to watch out for the black guys. You got to watch out for them. And she was like, what? And then
They're
it ended up, it was
slippery.
black ice,
Yeah,
right?
the black guys are slippery. They'll kill you.
Yes. And I made the joke of like, oh, I was like, you should tell that. That's really funny. Like, it's just a funny quip. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not. No way. That's like so racist. And I'm like, no, I don't think she said it was so racist, but she was like, I could never, meaning like it would offend people. It's like, who does that offend? It sounds like black guys and it's black ice. Like, is that
Yeah.
offensive? Like, I'm having trouble discerning. Let me just like take a brief moment and say that I watched a roast clip of mine the other day. Like, it just came up and I was like, you know what? You've never watched this ever since you did it. Like, you've never literally watched the roast. You never watched a clip of it. Like, you don't review. Let's just see what you did. Because someone quoted a joke to me the other day and I didn't remember saying it.
What is it? Uh-oh.
It's so funny. It's one of my favorite jokes. I believe I wrote it. I think it's one of mine because I do get help on the roast. But this one I believe was one of mine. It was like, Pete Davidson's here. I go, Pete Davidson, live from New York. It's not your dad. I think that's so funny. But anyway, that's crazy to say to someone, first of all.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I said to Alec Baldwin, which I love this joke too, but it was the clip that I watched was like, it's such an honor to be here roasting like Haley Bieber's fattest, dumbest uncle or something. Like, it was just like, it was way better than that, but it was like, how dare you? Like, it was for the first time ever that I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I don't, because people keep going like, you're an assassin. You say things that no one else will say. And I'm like, do I really? Like, I think people say pretty offensive things on these roasts. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
like going the next level. I think it's just because I look like I wouldn't because I have blonde hair and a nice smile or something. But I think there is something sociopathic about me because I don't, when
But
I
it's
watched
a
it, I was
roast.
like,
you're expected
I know, but
to do
I go
this.
heavier, and I even pull back more than there's some jokes I write that I'm like that just can't be done. And but I was having this. So then but
You
back to the
have
black
to.
ice thing, okay, right? So I said it would be funny to say like, you know, in a blizzard, people don't have to tell you to watch out for black guys because they stand out a lot. And they go, oh, like Matt and Anya were like, I was like, is that funny? And they were like, yes, but you can't say that. And I go, why? Why? Like, why is that racist? They have a darker skin tone, which would stand out more in a blizzard. Like, that is just, I'm not being racist. That just is what it is. They have,
But the thing is that it's white people that will find it racist. A black person would probably laugh at that. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
there's
it's
nothing.
always
There's nothing.
the white people.
There's
getting
nothing
offended.
judgment. I think racism is saying that people are worse. Not
Yeah.
that they're different, but it's saying that like someone's inherently worse. Saying that someone stands out in a blizzard because of their skin tone is more different than the color of snow than a white person's skin tone is just a fact. And
Right.
I said to Ari, I go, it's physics. And he goes, I don't know if it's physics. And I go, is it light refraction and sound waves and color waves? Isn't that physics? It literally is a fact that a darker skin tone would stand out. So is that offensive?
I mean, it can be offensive to some, and if not offensive to others. Depends
I
on the
would
person
argue
hearing
it is not offensive, and if you are offended by it, you are
That's the
actually wrong.
problem.
It's not. You don't get to say what's offensive to you.
Oh,
Things are
that's the-
actually black and white, offensive or not offensive, and you can
Like
say.
snow.
Final thought. You can say exactly. You can say that you're offended, but there are things that are actually offensive because they're
Yeah.
meaning to be mean. But
Yeah.
just saying something like, for instance, there's some jokes I've been wanting to write recently that reference someone's that they've been literally charged with a crime, like that
Yeah.
they've already served time for. That is a crime that they were charged for, and I wanted to make a joke about it. And people go, "I don't think you can go there," and I go. It
fair
could go
game.
there if it was alleged. That would be offensive if it were alleged, and they haven't been
Yeah.
convicted of it.
Uh-huh.
But this has been a convicted
Proven.
by they are a blank. It's
Right.
It happened.
I would say
Jeffrey
that's
Dahmer is a
fair
murderer.
game.
Yes.
And a cannibal.
So for me to say, or when I make a joke about Anthony Bourdain on stage, where I'm like, oh, you know, my hotel room was depressing, it had blah blah, and I say all these things that are like, oh, it makes me want to kill myself. They had the magnifying mirror and a scale and all these things. I'm like, did I get the Bourdain bungalow? And people always groan, and I go, oh, did you just find out like, I'm just stating a fact. Like, I guess I'm making it's a joke because I'm referencing it, but all I'm referencing is that he killed himself, and he did. I'm not telling him to kill himself. I'm not saying it's good that he did. I'm making no opinion about
You're
it. So we
laying
need
the
to,
blame of his suicide on the feet of some kind of hotel room.
No, I guess I'm not even doing that. I'm just referencing that he killed himself in a hotel room, and I'm saying that I'm saying, did you name this hotel room after the guy who killed himself in a hotel room?
Right.
And
the audience is like, of course they wouldn't do something like that. Are you
No,
are you mad?
they're merely offended that you brought up his tragic death.
Yes.
And that is not offensive. It is a fact that he killed himself. I will not apologize for that. I just want, if I say my joke about Kevin Pollak, where I said, you do a great Robin Williams impression, I wish you would finish it. That is offensive.
So good.
I'm wishing he would kill himself. That is literally offensive.
And you got flack for that.
I don't know that I did, but maybe
were
you saw
like-
some. I don't remember.
But I remember at the time you were like, this is why I do this, is so that it calls awareness to suicide.
I don't-
jokes like that.
Yeah, I guess that's a kind of a cop out. I just did it because it was funny.
Yeah, it's a funny
to wish
joke.
someone would kill themselves is just an insane thing to say, and it's
was a good
obviously a joke.
Was
because
that in a
it's-
roast?
Yeah, it's so hyperbolic.
Yeah. It's a great joke.
It's a great joke, but
Yeah.
that is offensive.
Oh,
If
Robin
someone's to be
Williams.
offended by that, of course, because I'm saying I wish he would kill himself.
And
But
he's
if I'm
alive.
just referencing that someone killed themselves, you don't get to. You can
fair
groan, but
game,
you're
yeah.
wrong to
Yeah.
groan because it's nothing offensive. I'm just bringing up something that maybe brings up hard memories for you, but
Right.
it's not offensive.
Uh-huh. It's not up to it's up to the individual. Offensive is subjective, and it just it sucks that some people get offended at things and they don't seem like on the surface that they should be.
Like blackface is offensive because white people used to say black people can't have jobs in Hollywood. We're going to paint our faces black, and thus you don't get to work and we're gonna make fun of you and make it look like a insane version of what. But to acknowledge that a black person's skin tone is darker than a white person's skin tone is not offensive.
It changes.
It literally is a fact.
It changes. There's going to be plenty of things we're saying now that in 10, 20 years, people are going to be like, that's really offensive. The fact that you sat, like it used to be offensive. It used to be offensive that you wearing a short sleeve shirt was offensive at some point.
Yeah.
It all changes and,
No, but it doesn't change. Facts are not offensive. I think that's where I draw the line. If you are restating a fact, if I say someone is a murderer and they've served time for murder, even though they served their time and they got out of prison, I still get to say that because that's not offensive. Bringing that up and reminding them. Like even when Caitlyn Jenner, I brought up, I was going to do the joke of like Caitlyn Jenner what a beautiful woman you killed with your car.
Oh yeah,
That
one.
I didn't end up doing because she said that she would walk off the dais if anyone brought up that thing, and I was like, oh, okay, great, I won't do it. That's fine because that is a little bit of it's not offensive to the family of the woman because I'm bringing up something that did happen.
Yeah.
It might be hard to hear. It's not offensive because I'm not saying she's deserved it. I'm not saying I'm not saying something mean about it. I'm saying she's a beautiful woman. First of all,
Yeah. Hey, that makes up for it.
I don't think it's offensive, but I do understand that it's hard to hear things and remember things. But I would argue that we should bring up things that are hard to hear because otherwise they're forgotten.
Yeah.
People get forgotten if you're just like, well, let's not talk about their death. Let's not, like in my family, we do not talk about when I was anorexic. We don't ever mention it. It was a really hard time in my family's life. I almost died. So we don't talk, we act like it literally didn't happen. Is that good? I don't find it to be
bury
great.
it in a pile of shame.
Yeah,
Is that good?
Because it makes you feel like I did something wrong, or
Yeah.
like it was such a hard time that we act like it didn't happen, and so we can't really joke about it. There's just it literally is a race. Every family has this where you
Yes.
erase something, whereas dad hit mom, or the dog choked in front of all of us and died, like something horrible, and we all act like it didn't happen. I would argue it's not doing much good to not talk about hard things.
It depends on where you lie, because it's also not good to dwell on things.
No,
and
but I
blame yourself
think giving
and
them a little something.
Yeah.
Like
Every year you have like a little celebration.
Yes. Every year I don't eat for a day just
Yeah.
to remember. But
Well, that's what Jews do.
oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And Ramadan.
Yeah, that's a month.
Yeah.
It's insane. Not insane. I'm just saying it's very difficult.
That's so
compared-
offensive.
I'm saying it's very difficult.
I got invited into a Ramadan feast that my neighbors were having.
Oh.
These like 15 like young boys that were dressed in all the stuff, like white like robes and everything. And I was just like coming home. And they were like, come, it's Ramadan, it's feast, come in.
Fun. And you're like, I've eaten today already. So
And I like went into their apartment and they all had they had a sheet spread out on the floor and all this food, like these weird biscuits and like pastries
Weird?
and stuff.
weird. Carla, that's offensive.
They were filming me.
It's different. It's not
and
weird.
It was different.
By the way, people say weird when they mean different. Okay,
Yes.
it's not.
And people say insane when they mean difficult.
Yes, exactly. Totally. I mean, all of these words, but that's so cute that they did that.
And I was just like, okay, I have to go. I need to take my dog out, and this is
And people
getting long.
say offended when they mean I want attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they were like,
some people got offended at my show last week and wrote a comment on someone posted a picture of my show, and then I went to go to comment like, thanks for coming, and I saw a comment of like, did the show get better after she defended pedophiles? Because that's when we left. And I go,
God.
I just wrote "k," which they're not even podcast listeners, but I just wrote "k" with the original spelling of cool "k" underneath it, and I'm just like, yeah, it did get better. And then the person explained it to them underneath of like, that's not what she was saying. And that's another thing that I'm like, you can't get offended. Literally, pedophiles don't choose to want to fuck kids. And if they don't choose to want to. Let me be clear about that. They choose to. I don't believe anyone chooses anything, but we're not going to get into no free will.
You can take a class and learn how to want. I think
it's a master class
yeah, you
taught
could take
by
a master class from
Dan
Kevin
Snyder.
Spacey.
is he a famous pedophile?
Well, like the Nickelodeon thing.
Oh, right.
He's
right,
not
right.
really a pedo on that, but he definitely put a system together that helped
that's
people
interesting.
get into it.
There's a lot of really famous like serial killers and mass murderers, but I can't recall.
Famous pedos?
Yeah, like the
Michael Jackson
Oh, okay.
is the most famous.
Yes, that's correct.
I would say.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Offensive. That's offensive.
Yeah.
Because he was probably molested.
Paris would be offended.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even want to get into that. Should we say? I want to keep getting invited to her things.
Okay.
I think, yeah, she does. I think Michael Jackson is Paris Hilton's
Godfather.
Wow.
And she's a staunch believer that those are fake stories.
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, there are people that believe, and I'm open to it, that Scott Peterson didn't kill Lacey Peterson, which is one of those things that you're just like, what the fuck? But O.J. Simpson, I mean, with his death last week, did you guys see the thing that the ESPN documentary was amazing back in the day, but I don't remember all the details from it. But a clip came up from it the other day where he sees, so after his trial where he's already, he's let go and he's not guilty, they're doing an interview with him and they find, all they needed was they had the Bruno Mali shoe, right? they had the footprint of blood of this Bruno Mali shoe, and all they had to do was connect him to this Bruno Mali shoe, but they couldn't, right, during the trial. But then later on, they found a picture of him in the fucking shoe, and there's only 299 shoes. 199 shoes. Maybe it was 299. Let's be generous. 299 shoes of this size sold in the United States, and he was wearing one of them on this red carpet. And there's a video of him being presented with a picture of him in the shoe. But this is not like, I think this was maybe at his this is why he was later convicted. You know, that he was later actually convicted of the murder and found guilty. But his eyes get so big. He literally goes, and you couldn't do it if you tried to make your eyes as big as his are when there's like a frozen picture of him seeing the shoe for the first time. And it reminded me of The Jinx, which is back.
It is?
The Jinx, there's an updated the Jinx HBO documentary where the guy has the microphone on and goes in the bathroom, and at the end of the documentary, spoiler alert, turn off your podcast right now if you haven't seen the original Jinx, because you're gonna want to. It's the best thing ever. He goes in the bathroom after the same thing. He was tried, he got off for it. Then they do a documentary because this guy's a narcissist and can't keep his mouth shut. And they find like the handwriting for whatever, they link him to it, and they have the proof right in front of him, and they show him. They're like, this is your handwriting, and then this is the handwriting of the killer. Like, and it's just like, and he's worked with this documentary crew. They seem to have been on his side the whole time, kind of helping him vindicate himself. But they're like, we have the proof right here. And you just see him see it in this moment. And he starts kind of like he starts doing this weird, like his body can't help but respond to like the fact that he's guilty. And he's like, well, that's, peculiar. What he says some bullshit. I forget exactly what happened. And then he goes in the bathroom and he's still mic'd. And he forgets to unmic himself, and he goes in the bathroom and he's just by himself, and you just hear him go something to the effect of like, well, they know. I killed them all.
Oh my God.
I killed them all. And then he starts going, and the burping. Like he starts reflecting on like what they just caught. And then he comes out, and I think they tell him you're mic'd. And then there's another response of that, like where he's just like realizing it. So then we went to prison because of that.
Wow.
And then he died in prison of COVID. But there's a new documentary out that has even more like crazy stuff. And people are so excited because at the time.
He died in prison of COVID?
Yeah. Robert Durst.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's nuts. So that's out right now. So is Lovers and Liars. Don't even forget it. The first 2 episodes are now available on the CW app for free. The 3rd episode is coming out on the CW this Thursday on the CW. And Benedict Polizzi was on the show from it last week. People are loving it. It's still so early, so you can get involved. I will have a Taylor Swift recap of the album and all my thoughts on it, all positive thoughts, no criticism. We're not talking about, we might get into a little bit of theory of like what song is about, but I don't want to be a Sarah or a Hannah, and you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. So we might not even get that. If you just want a positive review of the Torture Poets Department and all the things we love about it, listen to that later this week. And thank you, Carlisle, for coming in. You can follow her on Carlisle Forrester, spelled exactly the way you would think it would be. Yeah. With
Carlisle
2 R's.
Forrester. Yeah.
On the Forrester. On Instagram. She's hilarious. Support her. And yeah, we'll see you next time. See you in St. Louis this weekend, you guys, at the Fox Theater. And then Omaha on Sunday night after the Fox Theater in St. Louis on Saturday. So St. Louis and Omaha coming up. And then Vegas with David Spade at the Venetian. Dates coming up, I think, May 17th or 18th or something like that with David Spade. That's going to be exciting. And check nikkiglaser.com for a bunch of new tour dates coming out. Thanks for supporting the show, and we'll see you when we see you. Don't be care. Bye.